We ready?
What's pumping and what's dropping? This your boy Craig L. Smith II, introing in for the Jimmy J Smooth Network. On today's show, we're gonna be talking about this latest this Houston OKC swap. Penny Hardaway possibly scheduling Kentucky in the future. Mike Norvell's recruiting, what I like about it, but what he still needs to prove on about himself. And we're gonna be talking about Serena Williams. Is this it, or do she need to sit down or whatnot? So without further ado, let me bring the host of this marvelous show.
What's popping? What's dropping, man? You know, we got a good little show going on, and we finna get started, man. We're doing this mostly off the dome. A lot of times we just have sticky notes already prepared, but we finna get started, man, with this OKC Houston trade. Now, I've been warned. I told y'all so. I didn't tell you so directly in the particulars and the logistics, but I told y'all Chris Paul was up out of there. The very same month after the Houston Rockets lost to Golden State, Fertitta came out and said, put everybody on notice. And like I said, he'll cancel just like me, and we very unpredictable people. We knew what he was going to do. We just didn't know how he was going to do it. So what's your take from this OKC trade with Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook? And when Westbrook was playing bad, we call him Russell Resthaven. What's your take on this particular move that Brother Fertitta had made?
I'm shocked. I'm still shocked, but however, to paraphrase what I always say, don't say Jimmy J Smooth was the one to tell you so, but he told you so. I think this is a pretty even trade, man. Because Westbrook nice with Harden. You got Clint Capella. Why they signed Tyson Chandler's washed up ass, I don't know. The only problem I'm gonna have with that is this: if Houston is gonna have are we gonna get the Russell Resthaven before he was worried about his triple doubles? Or are we going to get the Russell Resthaven that played alongside Kevin Durant and James Harden? Mm-hmm. And also, and Mike D'Antoni, he's already been forewarned. Hey, this your last year. When you said something about the Fertittas, when you say, hey, the Fertittas ain't gonna take no for an answer. And whatever, and really, yeah, I don't like to see a guy lose his job, but Mike D'Antoni, he did kind of fuck up this past season. I mean, because one year you finish, you win what? You win 64 games one year. Your defense improved. You slow your offense down, your defense improved, and then the next year you go back to what you know, and you get your ass whooped in the second round. And keep in mind that you almost made the finals when you had when your team ranked 10th in defense.
Exactly.
For a Mike D'Antoni team who's only known for offense, they ranked 10th. They ranked 10th in defense the year they almost went to the finals.
Exactly.
So this is really make or break for Mike D'Antoni. But I think this is a good trade. Chris Paul, because if he leaves, OKC, they're gonna be back down the gutter. And a lot of people ain't too keen about Sam Presti because Sam Presti is he's one of those little prickly ass GMs from what I've read about him. He's a very prickly ass person. Emphasis on for the word prick, but I don't, but I'm gonna tell you something. I don't see Billy Donovan coaching that team after this year, even though he is a damn good coach. I don't see him coaching the team after next season. And if they don't give Chris Paul some weapons, then hey, Chris Paul gonna be kicking rocks down to LA because he gonna be down there with his BFF.
Oh yeah, and LeBron James, from what I understand, is like his godson. Is like his son's godfather as well. And it wouldn't be a bad move. And from what I understand, according to inside sources from both LA and OKC, he's trying to get the OKC to buy out his contract so he can go to LA, which is not a bad idea. I wouldn't mind seeing Chris Paul get a championship. Yes, he's an asshole in the locker room, but again, name a locker room that don't have at least one or two assholes in that locker room. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I knew Fertitta was going to make that move.
They said he's an asshole out of the locker room too.
According to some people. I mean, but I'm pretty sure he's an asshole in the locker room. Being the type of player he is, of course, he's going to be.
In and out. And I said, like I was saying, well, we know that about inside the locker room, but outside, I read some various things from fan accounts.
But
some of them say he's pretty cool. Others, he's he a prick. And I remember one fan said something about somebody was trying to hound him for an autograph, like he was with his family, and the guy stepped in and said, "No, man, it ain't the right time." And Chris gave him and told him, and Chris pulled him aside and said, "Man, appreciate that," well, because he was with his wife and his son.
Yeah, well, in that case, if a guy's with his wife and kids, that's a little different. I mean, most guys don't want to be bothered when they're eating or with the wife and kids and stuff like that. Because like here in Houston, again, and I have to preference that, here in Houston, we pretty much know what time it is when it comes to celebrity. Because we see a celebrity is different than when a nigga in LA, even a nigga in Chicago. I'll give Chicago credit because people in Chicago got some decorum when it comes to guys. That's Michael Jordan right there, but don't go around his wife and kids. We know what time it is. We people out here, we're different. We don't drape all over celebrity. We'll be like, at best, we'll be like, hey, how you doing, man? Good to see you. How's the knee doing? Okay, I know you with your wife and kids. Bam, we finna go on about our business. That's how we get down in Houston. Now, if you're talking about something that happened in New Orleans or what's the other team he played on? The LA Clippers. Yeah, people gonna be a little different. But out here, we already know. We just know. It's just because we used to being around people that's famous. I mean, out here. Because again, you'll be surprised who's famous out here or who lives out here that's famous. But nevertheless, it wouldn't shock me none. But again, I think he deserves the championship as a player and for his contributions to the game of basketball. And like I said, he's a classic point guard. You know what I'm saying? The guy that distributes the ball, get his teammates in the game, and make guys better. Because DeAndre Jordan wasn't averaging in double figures until he had Chris Paul. Tyson Chandler was averaging double figures under Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? In that department, statistically, guys get better. You know what I'm saying? Because Tyson Chandler wasn't scoring like that. His career point per game average is almost 10 points a game. And most of that is due to Chris Paul distributing the ball properly.
Hold up. You forgot when Tyson Chandler played with the Mavericks in that championship year. Hey, he was getting some points from Jason Kidd and Terry because they were passing that. So
yeah, but again, before we talking about before, that's before when he was with the New Orleans Hornets, he wasn't doing anything offensively. You know what I'm saying? He was more of a defensive rebounding guy, and then some of those points also came off of trash points because he was a significant factor on the offensive glass, which is why Miami lost that NBA Finals. That's not taking nothing away from Jason Terry and Jason Kidd. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about before. That was before because he was making him out of he was feeding the big guy, and that gave San Antonio some big problems. They went to Game 7, which they were the number one team in the conference anyway. They went to Game 7 mainly because of that distribution between Chris Paul and Tyson Chandler, and Greg Popovich had to come up with a game plan to make Chris Paul the one-dimensional guy. He had to become one-dimensional and had to do all the scoring, which gave them why they lost. You know what I'm saying? Because he had to keep the ball in his hands. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, I want to see Chris Paul get at least one championship before he retires because he's surely declining, and you can see it. You could see it in that Golden State series that his decline is there. And like I say, it's beneficial for both guys. I'm not knocking Fertitta making the move he's making. He's making the best move for Houston. He's a Houstonian. You know what I'm saying? He was born and raised in the Houston area. So it's the best move for both guys. You know what I'm saying? So again, I think Capella is gonna be next. If Capella don't show his ass, Capella gonna be next. Best to believe that. Because he wants a big man anyway. And I'm gonna tell you, that man who he gonna be eyeing, he's gonna be Anthony. He's gonna be eyeing Karl Anthony Towns because he wants somebody younger. He's gonna be eyeing him. I'm not saying he will get him. He's gonna be eyeing him. He's gonna be eyeing another big guy that he could rely on to help James Harden take the pressure off James Harden and Westbrook. He's gonna be eyeing Karl Anthony Towns. I'm not saying he's gonna get him, but he's eyeing. He's surely eyeing that boy. He's eyeing him. Best to believe that. You know what I'm saying? Fertitta, if he feels like you ain't making moves for the best interest of his company, he's gonna get you up out of there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who ain't from Houston don't know Fertitta's get down, but he have some notable Fortune 500 companies that has been successful, and some of the moves he make ain't always popular. It ain't always approving to the eye, but he makes the best moves for his company. I'm gonna tell you that now. So don't be surprised if somebody be on the chopping block again. It could be Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon could be up out of here, unfortunately. And I like Eric Gordon, but he put everybody on notice at the end of that conference. Like, hey, your number might be there, so y'all better. Chris Paul was the first step of putting everybody on notice. Like, hey, you don't play your ass off, you finna get up out of here. I like you, I love you, but it's business. You know what I'm saying? That's the old mob boss saying. You know what I'm saying? This business, and his dad ain't put him head of that side of Fertitta family. You know what I'm saying? Old man Fertitta, his old man Fertitta. He ain't put him the head of that particular family for him to fuck it up. He knew what he was getting out of Tillman. So Tillman is gonna make the best move for his family. You know what I'm saying? You got anything else you gonna say before we go to the next topic?
No, I mean, business is business. I'm gonna put it like this though. Some people be assholes when doing business. So, when it come to that, but take somebody who know. I mean, hey, I got rid of in the most assholes way. And I got fired from I'm gonna say it, I got fired from AWG over the through the phone. So, and which was fucked up, but that's neither here or there, and I'm not, ain't gonna dwell on that. But like Jimmy J said, hey, it's not just for T, it's with anybody. If you feel if somebody feel that you don't align with their best interest, hey, they ain't gonna fuck with you. That's it. They'll tell you, hey, get going, they ain't gonna fuck with you.
And like I say, I'm not, I get on owners all the time about fuck moves. But he made the best move for both parties because Chris Paul could easily make that move to transition to the Lakers. He actually did him a favor. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, Fertitta is making the best interest for both guys. It was a win-win situation for both guys because, like I said, OKC go ahead and buy out that contract. He's a free agent. So we're going to see, man. We're going to see. But we just saw Serena Williams lost in the Wimbledon finals to what's the girl name? Halep. I can't think of the girl's full name, but she's a pretty Simona Halep, to be exact. 6'2", 6'2", and she didn't even break an ace in this game. Is it time for Serena to wrap this up after watching this destructive match?
Bro, she should have been wrapped it up a long time ago, man. I mean, what else is there for you to prove? What else is there for her to prove? She got bread. She won out various U.S. Opens and Wimbledon championships. She has a family. And even you and I, we kind of side-eyeing this dude that she married because we didn't know shit about this dude. Till all of a sudden you got married and all of a sudden, oh wow, you married and then you knocked up. By we all side-eyeing this cat. Now and then maybe she ain't got nothing else to fall back on. That's the way I see it. Shit. She just need to hang it up. That's it. She look good for her age. She look good. She look good for her age and shit like that. She just need to hang it up.
Yeah, it's looking like, and then
she wore out a weapon.
And then it looks like she's hold on, let me make sure I get her age right. I think she'll be 37 this year. Because she's a Libra. No, she'll be 38, actually. Wow. She'll be 38 this year. She'll be 38,
yeah,
actually.
She wore out a welcome.
I think I think right now, because I think she's just trying to tie Margaret Smith Court's record. To me, she's better than Margaret Smith Court anyway, because she had a better her career was more prolonged than Margaret Smith Court, where Margaret Smith Court, most of her best years came in the 60s. You know, her prime was her best year. She won a couple of titles after her prime, but she didn't do it at the rate that Serena did it. Serena was like dominating from one side of her prime to the other side to the end of her prime. Whereas Margaret Smith Court, her best years was her best years. You know what I'm saying? You know, from my opinion, I think she won like 20 championships and won 4 out of her prime. And Serena did won 14 in her prime and won 9 afterwards, because she did do the Serena Slam. Damn near did it twice. But the thing is, to me, she's a better player than Margaret Smith Court. Yeah, even though she got 1 championship more than Serena does, you know, that don't make her any less better than Margaret Smith Court. You know what I'm saying? So I think if she can't get it in the U.S. Open, I think she probably just need to retire at this point. You know what I'm saying? The good thing is Margaret Smith Court, what she did, nobody else did. You know what I'm saying? Win the Grand Slam of tennis, the first woman to ever do it. She had nothing to prove by the time her career ended. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I think Serena feels like she got to at least tie that record in order for her to have something to prove. But it's overwhelmingly, people don't know who the fuck Margaret Smith Court is unless you buy an fucking encyclopedia. You know what I'm saying? Because you in her era, she had Billie Jean King, Chris Evert, Martina Navratilova. You got people mentioning those women, you know, in place of Margaret Smith Court. And that's not to take nothing away from Margaret Smith Court. What she did, again, no other woman done at that particular time. But when you talk about Serena Williams, that's basically the only person you talk about. After people don't talk about Martina Hingis, which gave her and her sister hell. You know what I'm saying? People don't talk about Maria Sharapova. All you hear about in the Serena era, the Williams era, is either the Williams sister or Serena Williams. You don't hear about any of those women. And Martina Hingis is in the International Tennis Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about a woman that's in the Hall of Fame already. You know what I'm saying? Because she pretty much retired from singles.
She chilling now, dude.
Yeah, she pretty much chilling. You know, I think she coaching here and there, but for the most part, she chilling. Justine Henin. You don't hear about Justine Henin no more. You hear about what Serena's gonna do. Justine Henin whooped her ass a couple of times. Even Angelique Kerber whooped her ass a few times with that left hand serve. But you don't hear about those. You don't hear about them. All you hear about Serena. Not knowing she lost to these women. And like I say, to me, Kerber is one person that could really, truly whoop her ass out of all the other black girls like Sloane Stephens, Michaela Keys. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know she's black. She's a mixed girl. Her dad's black. Mama is, I think her mama's a European somewhere. Osaka. You going up against women that one is inspired by you and two is quicker than you, way quicker than you. Osaka, she can't do nothing with Osaka when push comes to a shove. But I think this particular match showed her age out of everything. This showed her age. You know what I'm saying? So you going up against these black girls that could do the same thing you can do, that is quicker than you. Even though some of these white girls like Halep and Herbert with that left hand serve that nobody can fuck with unless you just on top of your game. You going up against women that are quicker than you, so it ain't no joke. You may need to consider hanging that hoe up. In all honesty,
don't know if it's a matter of pride or what.
And if she ever have a hard time getting money, she can always inspire another black girl, another up and coming tennis players because people spend top dollar for tennis players, for tennis coaches and stuff like that. You don't got to be necessarily the best tennis coach to actually become a tennis coach. You could just be a good NCAA player in tennis, and people will pay top dollar for that shit. If you won some championships in high school, and because look at the guy that Osaka got. Osaka got a black guy. After she left the white guy who gave her that championship, she got her a black guy from I think it was the University of Florida. He has a strange name, so I can't really pronounce it. But dude is a hell of a tennis coach. I mean, he's a hell of a tennis coach, and he's just won an NCAA championship. You know what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily, and that's an FYI for people that have played tennis. If you play tennis and you know what the hell going on that court, you can actually be a tennis coach. People are always looking for tennis coaches because usually people have their dad, have their mom trying to coach tennis, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing a lot of times. So if you're looking for a job, tennis coaching is a good place to look for a job at. You know what I'm saying? You get paid a percentage of their salary as well for coaching them. So shit, that's a good job to have. So Serena can always go to that. You know what I'm saying as well. Don't she ever have a hard time with money? So it is what it is. You got anything else you want to say about that before we go to the next topic?
No, sir.
Yeah, Memphis Tigers. I know you mentioned.
Yep, I got this.
Go ahead. Take over then. Take over, nigga. Take over.
All right. Well, at the barbershop today, I heard something. One of the barbers that cut my hair, because my regular he was bagged up because he had like 8 hairs. That was ahead of me. So, one of the barbers cut my hair. He was saying a couple of his friends they are in the beat, you know, with the Memphis basketball program, what goes on inside and outside. Now, I had mentioned something about that Penny. I wonder how their schedule looking like because Penny need to go ahead and schedule a home and home with Kentucky. Calipari is for that, but he doesn't want the first game to be in Memphis. He wants it to be at a neutral. He wants it to be, you know, if you want to do a 2-game home, and home, he wants the first game to be, or if you're gonna do like a 4-game series, he wants the Kentucky and Nashville, the Kentucky. Well, I just spoiled it. He wants the Kentucky and Memphis games to be played in a neutral site like Nashville. And Calipari is looking at the fact about in regards as to with money. And it has been gone on record that said Calipari he doesn't want to come back here to Memphis. So, Jimmy, what are your thoughts on this little revelation? Do you agree with Cal the Crook or no?
I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking that thing because I'm not knocking it, but I say go on and play Memphis. Don't hold up the fans for that. Just go on and make the game because Memphis have never played a home and home game in Kentucky. The one game they played was in the I want to say the Maui tournament, which Calipari was the coach at the time. But Memphis have been trying to schedule Kentucky for years. We're talking about going all the way back to Dana Kirk. They've been trying to schedule that.
Calipari was trying to do it.
Yeah, so they've been trying to schedule that game for years, and it just never happens because one, a lot of the coaches that coach Kentucky, they recruited in Memphis. You know, Sam Madison was recruited by Eddie Sutton at that time. Eddie Sutton Sr., I should say. He was recruited. You know, he was the first McDonald's All-American to come out of Memphis. So typically, even around the corridor, around the Memphis corridors, like Jackson, Tennessee, which basically for some people you could argue that's the Memphis area.
No,
you know, you could argue that to a certain degree because it's only about 45 to an hour away. So Rick Pitino recruited Tony Delk out of Brownsville, out of Haywood County, and believe it or not, Tony Delk was supposed to come to Memphis, and not Calipari, but Rick Pitino took Tony Delk away from Memphis because
you know, I think that was the best thing ever for him.
because you heard articles about Tony Delk playing with Penny Hardaway. You heard articles. They like the Memphis Commercial Appeal really had expanded Tony Delk's outlook to other recruiters, because at first nobody knew who the hell Tony Delk was, other than him beating teams from Memphis, beating Fairleigh with Elmer Martin and those guys. Because that Fairleigh team he beat in the sectionals was supposed to go all the way to win the state title. They had one loss that entire year, and they lost again, and that was their second loss. But the Commercial Appeal in Memphis, because a lot of people paid attention to the Commercial Appeal more than they paid attention to the Jackson Sun. The Commercial Appeal put Tony Delk out there to where, Rick Pitino got him a issue of the Commercial Appeal, like, they got a guy over there in Brownsville that Memphis should be recruiting right now. Let me go get Tony Delk. And that's really what got Rick Pitino getting it, recruiting guys in Tennessee. He ended up recruiting Ron Mercer, who's from Goodpasture, Madison Goodpasture and stuff like that. So At first, it was one of those things to where people could come in and just recruit. Now Calipari, I guess he don't want Memphis to be in an advantage in terms of refereeing and officiating and stuff like that, because for a long time he was trying to get that Tennessee game at a neutral site. For a long time he was trying to get that game at a neutral site, but now he's open to the idea, but only at a neutral site. So just going to make the game, because you already got an AAC versus SEC game going against each other. So eventually you're going to have to play them anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a rotating schedule. Because Memphis this year, they play Georgia. I think they play Ole Miss at some time next year as well. And another game I would like to see, Memphis rivalry, they renew Mississippi State versus Ole Miss. Mississippi State versus Memphis as well. So it's games out there to be scheduled. I guess what they're trying to do is they're trying to get Memphis and other AAC teams to play all the SEC teams that they play, because I know Memphis has beaten every SEC team except Florida and Georgia. Those are one of the two teams, and they've only played those guys. They've only played Georgia one other time, and that's the Rainbow Classic. So they're trying to get them to play everybody at this point, which is a good thing. With football is going to be harder to match people up against, because if Ole Miss loses to Memphis, Ole Miss knows what Memphis does. They could easily say, well, they take a lot of the top guys out of Mississippi, so we're bound to lose to them anyway. They take a lot of guys from South Panola and the North Mississippi corridor, from us. So we can make an argument, even though we got top 5 recruiting guys, top 5, top 10, top 15, top 20 recruits. There are some good guys left over in this part of Mississippi that Memphis does go after. So we got an excuse to lose to Memphis. But does Ole Miss got an excuse to lose to University of Cincinnati? Hell, well, they'll have an excuse to lose against U of H, even though they don't play, and Mississippi State does. But do we have an excuse to lose to Tulane or somebody? Do we have an excuse to, lose to the other AAC teams? No, you're not gonna have no excuse, because you're gonna look real bad. So it's one of those things in football that's tricky right there. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a little bit harder for an AAC team, which is why Central Florida going through it, because those Florida teams know that outside of the blue chippers in Florida, UCF, those guys can play for anybody. A lot of those guys, like they backup quarterback. They backup quarterback was a top 15 quarterback in the country. They end up they got a steal out of Virginia. So Florida is not going to be too quick to Florida schools. Any of those Florida schools from Miami to Florida State is not going to be too quick to schedule a game against Central Florida, because that's an easy loss right there. Florida may muster up the balls to play them, but not too quickly, because they already got a loaded schedule with Florida and Miami. You know what I'm saying? You want to load up on an SEC, an already tough SEC anyway. You know what I'm saying? Which I made the argument on one of the last shows out there, to where the SEC already plays a tough schedule. You know, with people playing
Yeah,
during the
they
summer.
always do. I mean, in basketball and in football.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, the SEC is a better conference than the ACC, bar none.
Yeah,
With the Big Ten, matter of fact, with the Big Ten coming second.
yeah,
So I mean,
yeah,
because the only knock you have on the ACC is one, ESPN ride the nuts. They ride their nuts a little bit too hard. Duke, and then two, they don't schedule no pretty good competition. Because like look at North Carolina every year who they have on the schedule. They stay playing Kentucky every year. They don't change up.
yeah. East Carolina, those guys. You know, you've had. I mean, it's crazy, bro.
You know.
It's crazy, bro. So
But I agree. I mean, you know, even though we have expressed our opinion about Calipari, I mean, he does have a point with this, you know, or do like one in Memphis, one in Kentucky, and you decide to have a rubber match, have it in Nashville.
yeah. And then another thing I think is good for recruiting on both ends because, like I say, it'll expand Memphis's recruiting base nationwide, which Penny and Calipari has done a good job recruiting nationwide. And you know, people's had a lot of knock on Penny saying he can only recruit in Memphis, which is not a bad thing, but he's proven that he can go nationwide as well. Because Penny, a lot of guys around our age corridor to about the age of the people that's in basketball right now, they know who Penny Hardaway is. They fathers, mamas, and daddies have told them about Penny Hardaway. And like I say, you can make a good case that he's supposed to be in the Hall of Fame. You can make a good case, even though you can say that had he not gotten hurt, he would have been a Hall of Famer. You can make a strong argument, but Penny has done a good job recruiting nationwide, and this is the first time we've had a number one recruiting class because we were sitting at number 2 a couple of times historically, and you know, time we got over the hump. So yeah, man. I mean, this could be good recruiting on both ends, you know, from Memphis as well as Kentucky as well. So I hope they end up, you know, selling their differences and going and making it happen, man. I want to see that. I want to see that rivalry. Win, lose, or win or lose. I want to see that. I want to see that game gets. I want to see that game get recognition because this could be another Arkansas versus Memphis rivalry.
Yep.
You know.
Or yeah, give us Memphis and Duke.
Yeah. Because Duke's schedule is already. I think now that's one guy I think is willing to play anybody because he'll literally play anybody, and that's Coach K. He's not scared. I think Memphis needs to go on and talk to Duke because I think if Coach K's still around because he's an old guy, he's in the 70s, so you know, and still don't look it, but he's still. I think he'll be willing to make that happen again.
Yeah,
I think he'll play any goddamn body. He don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because he gave Butler the opportunity to make up for that loss, and they got blowed out. So he's not scared to play anybody. He was like, "Hey, y'all want to play again? I got an open date on this schedule." You know what I'm saying?
And then did a home and home with Gonzaga. He said he want to do that again. You know?
Yeah. So he ain't scared to play nobody. So if you want somebody to go after, get Duke out of everybody. Carolina gonna be a little bit more tougher. I think Roy will be willing to play, but I think it's from the AD's point. I think the AD is in on that because Roy ain't scared to play nobody either.
No, you know I think the only way some of them teams Memphis will have a chance to play some of them teams is if they meet in the tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, I see that happening.
Yeah, I think Penny needs to go play in the NIT tournament, the Maui tournament, playing those big tournaments where
Great Alaska Shootout.
Yeah, so the
Rainbow.
Yeah, so play those teams in those tournaments, and I think they'll, you know, you got to put them in a position where they ain't got no choice but to play you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing they need to do. Other than that, you know, a home and home game is going to be a little tougher to do that. I wouldn't even fathom the dog to try to get North Carolina to come to Memphis. They're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
that's where the AD. I think that's where they're probably having a problem with the ADs. Is going to be like, nah, we're not going to come all the way out there. We got a good home crowd, and you can't argue with them to a certain degree. But again, that's another game that makes their recruiting easier. Make the recruiting easier on both ends. You know what I'm saying? With North Carolina got the bigger name than Memphis, so they ain't got to come to you if they don't want to come to you. So you're gonna have to schedule them in a pre-tournament. You know what I'm saying? As opposed, because that's not gonna work. Certain teams, SEC teams like Ole Miss will play you home to home because it's a rivalry. Mississippi State will play you home to home. It's a rivalry. You know, even Arkansas, you know, on the right day, they'll schedule you home to home. It's a rivalry. You know, Vanderbilt ain't gonna be too quick to play a Memphis team unless it's a preseason tournament. They're not gonna be too quick, or one of those things, the AAC SEC shootout or whatever they call it. They'll play them in something like that because they ain't got no other choice. You know what I'm saying? But you got to put these guys in a position where it's no other choice to play you. And those guys, nobody wants an L to a hit or miss AAC team because that's what Memphis looking. Well, with the recruiting class, they'll get in the tournament, but Memphis to some guys are hit or miss. You know, either they're gonna have a good year or they're not. And we lose to y'all. That's like you lost to Memphis. You know what I'm saying? So. It is what it is, man. You got anything else you want to say to
that? No, but we stick with the subject on Memphis. Your favorite coach, Mike Norvell, must have been talking to Penny privately about how to recruit, because once again he's landed another defensive back, a three-star recruit from Georgia in the defensive back, and I guess he really has been listening to the fans' concerns about him, and especially as far as how defense goes. I gotta tip my hat to him, man. He getting what he need, because he been getting a shitload of linebackers, secondary guys, everything. But they got it now. Granted, on his defense though, they always gonna have a good front line. They always gonna have some good ends and a tackle, whatever, and see whatever. Then that's something I question about, Jimmy. You might want to research that while I'm talking. What defensive front, what defense is the Memphis Tigers running? Because I last remember that they were 3-3-5 under Tommy West, and then with Chuck Stobart, I think they ran a straight up gangsta ass 4-3. But I don't know what Norvell running with this though. But he has been impressing me a lot in recruiting. And even a guy in the barber said, man, this ain't never happened before. Memphis being the talk of the town. Wait. He said Memphis being the talk of the town as far as recruiting going in both sports.
Yeah.
So Norvell, I mean, he getting what he need, man. He getting these guys now.
Yeah, that's good.
And I mean, he addressed the defense real good right off the bat. But what I still think but Norvell, we love you, but you ain't exempt from the wrath of our criticism as far as your coaching goes.
Yeah.
So what's your take on Mike Norvell making pre-Penny like moves?
Well, like I said, the guy Porter did a good job recruiting. The guy before Fuentes did a good job recruiting. But what separates him is he's getting top 4-star, 3-star. I don't think he's got a 5-star yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Because he hit the Georgia pipeline. Because he barred. That's why I said he barred Tadix from Penny as far as recruiting goes. Where to hit?
In which Memphis have always recruited there. The thing is, he's recruiting better quality guys out of Georgia. That's the advantage. Because the thing about a good player, you know, stick with your recruiting base. Because Memphis have always recruited in Georgia, Florida, Alabama, you know, those little corridors, Mississippi. You know, get top guys out of those states. Get Mr. Football winners out of those states. Because the problem with a lot of the top talent is a lot of them is not going to start on these SEC teams. So dabble your way a little bit more to the 5-star guys. Because if this 5-star guy, he's going to be like, man, I want to go to Alabama. There's a chance that motherfucker might not play at Alabama. There's a good chance he might not play at Auburn. There's a good chance he might not play at Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Get the guys you need and get the guys that could easily take somebody's position. Get some of those 5-star guys. And then you watch your team be in the top 20. Be like, wow, Memphis is in the top 20 in recruiting in football. We know they're recruiting basketball because they already got talent in basketball. But in football, motherfuckers gonna be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And that's how teams like Memphis end up in the Big 12. That's how teams like Memphis end up in other real conference teams. Norvell's taking some pointers from Pity, but I want to do a little bit better. I want you to go for Augusto. Because the thing is, if he goes to an AAC team with a top recruit, they ain't got no choice. ESPN ain't got no choice but to watch it, baby. Get you a top-level quarterback that you know if he's going to this team.
I heard he did land one. Now I heard he landed a 4-star quarterback. I don't know who his name is, but from what I heard on that end, dude is a throw first athletic type quarterback that throws first, runs later.
Yeah, and that's what Memphis needs.
And he's a black quarterback.
Yeah, and that's what we need. We need somebody mobile that these teams will have a hard time game planning, because with a mobile quarterback, that's hard to game plan. That's if he's not a run first. If he's a run first guy, you can game plan. All you gotta do is play cover 2 or a good 3-4 defense, and you can stop that. Yep. But if he's a throw first guy that you don't know when he's gonna get out that pocket, you don't know whether or not he's gonna throw on a run. That's a hard. You can't game plan for that unless he's just fucking up, having a bad day. You can't game plan for that. You know what I'm saying? But
and by the way, did you look up what defense Memphis runs?
Give me a hot second. Memphis. Because I may have to go to a game study. I may have to go to a game study because I'm not researching anything as we speak. I'm just going off the dome. But one thing I am certain of, that Memphis do need to look into those 4 stars, 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis have been staying in the top 100 on Rivals. They've been staying in, I think they were top 60 this year. So that's a good start for a mid-major team. I think Houston was the highest at 30 or 20 something, which is not bad at all.
Right.
But Houston, that's granted. Houston got a whole area of talent, so they don't even have to leave East Texas to get top guys because they're there. Hold on, what kind of defense they run? Who's the defensive coordinator? Adam Fuller, first year defensive coordinator. I gotta really research.
Yeah. I still say Fuente had the best deal of all when he took the Virginia Tech job.
Yeah.
Keep Bud. He said, I'll join on the one condition. You let me keep Bud Foster. Deal. He was gone.
Yeah. I just looking at their schedule. It's not.
It's not pleasant.
I can't really find it. But I have to do more research on Adam Fuller. I'm gonna have to do some local for a long time. Area news when they got the guy. They playing in South Alabama this year in Mobile. Man, you better make them hoes come to the Liberty Bowl.
I think they did come to the Liberty Bowl one year.
Okay, so they probably, and they playing at Monroe, Louisiana. Man, y'all better make these bitches come to. They just trying to get an out of town trip. That's all.
Yeah, I could see that South Alabama game because I watched when I had my time in Huntsville. I actually watched when South Alabama played North Alabama and the game was in Huntsville. Man, that was a damn good game, man. South Alabama got a hell of an offense. And seeing what they do, they don't run no base offense. They just go out there and run plays. But see, but I still think South Alabama should have stayed where they at first because when they made that move to the 1A and shit, you know, they ain't been as dominant. They ain't been as dominant as they used to be.
Yeah. Them niggas is just trying to have an out of town trip. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Cause ain't the first game against Ole Miss.
First game against Ole Miss in Memphis. Yeah, in Memphis, the rivalry game is gonna be on ABC. South Alabama game gonna be on ESPNU, and the Navy game is gonna be on ESPN. So they got 3 scheduled nationally televised games.
Yeah, that Navy game gonna be a make or break for him. That cause I mean, if I was Mike Norvell, this is what I'd do. I'll schedule Ole Miss. I holler at Jeremy Pruitt about, hey man, let's get a home back together with Tennessee. I get that back going. What else? Or if like you to borrow quote what you said, what Mike Norvell need to do, go for the gusto. Holler at St. Nick. Cause the last time Alabama played Memphis was back in 1991.
Yeah.
No, 1992. At 91. No, 92. I'm sorry. Back in 1992.
Yeah, I would because he does recruit in Memphis, and that'll be a win-win situation for Memphis too. Even if they lose to Alabama, they still gonna have. You know what? Memphis is getting their ass kicked by Alabama, but they showed run a good offense. Let me go. I was gonna play for Alabama, but I might start in Memphis. Stop thinking about trying to go undefeated, a cheap undefeated team. That shit ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. What you need to do, you need to go for the gusto. Go for it all. You know, hey, because then you can ultimately beat Alabama because you can steal a few guys from Alabama. That's how you need to do it. You need to go for it. Go for the gusto. Don't sit there and go for pennies. If you think pennies, you're gonna get pennies. If you think big boy numbers, you're gonna get big boy numbers. Schedule Alabama. Schedule Georgia. Put Georgia ass on the schedule so you can get some of those guys out of Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, some of the shit. Hell, and if I was Penny, hey, I holler at the Pearls of Wisdom down there at Auburn.
Yeah, I think Pearl, because Pearl loves to recruit in Memphis as well, just like he do at Atlanta. He's an Atlanta recruiter, but man, he would love to.
So I had a phone call. I'm sorry now. Of course, what I was saying, Penny need to holler at the Pearls of Wisdom.
Yeah, because again, that works both ways for you too. That's another game that works. Auburn versus Tennessee, Auburn versus Memphis. That works both ways because he might take somebody from Memphis, but you can go to Atlanta because you got at least 4 or 5 from Memphis that's Hardaway that keeps up with Memphis basketball. That'll be like, hey, I got a 5-star recruit out here in Atlanta, man. I know y'all like to run up and down just like typical Memphis teams. Here you go, right there. You got like 4 or 5 guys from Memphis that I follow on Twitter all the time. They look for guys to take their kids to a good college, man. Man, look.
Yeah, I mean, shoot.
Yep.
So I think, but with Norvell, man, I think this is like I said, he's starting. He bought a little page from Penny. I believe he probably talked to Penny when Penny first got it about how he was going to recruit, and then been following that blueprint. So if he's following that blueprint, Mike Norvell has some damn good squads. But however, like I said, Memphis Tiger football fans, and you, Mike Norvell, I like you. We love, and we like you. We dig what you're doing. You're gonna have to stop being so freaking complacent in some games, man. And that Central Florida game, I almost broke my mom's TV with all that shit y'all was doing. I mean, come on now. They had Central Florida beat. Jimmy, we watched that game. Big shout out to Corey Wolf. We all watched it. Memphis had them beat in the palm of their hand, and then they just got too complacent by running just a straight prevent front, running prevent defense all through the fucking game, and they got their ass burnt. And then what made it so bad, Central Florida wasn't no fucking better. And especially with somebody like Randy Shannon, who should fucking know better. Want to run it? Who? And Randy Shannon was running fucking base. The old tried and true base fucking cover two. Don't nobody run that old ass base cover two no more in not in hell, not even in NFL. The Legion of Boom didn't even run that shit. Legion of Boom ran cover one.
Yep. And
you gotta play or let alone learn from Belichick, man. Shit.
Central Florida played Stanford this year.
Yes. First game.
Wow. Ooh.
At Stanford. I think the first game at Central Florida, and that's the first game that's televised.
That's gonna be nationally televised. Wow.
Yeah. Because I think I read somewhere Hypo took a shot at ESPN by saying, since folks saying we don't schedule no tough competition, here you go.
David Shaw got balls too. That's a tricky game for Florida too.
Man.
Because Shaw don't recruit the best team, but he knows how to mold those boys. So man, that's a that's a tricky game for them. I ain't gonna lie. That's a tricky. But the thing is, Memphis do not have Central Florida on their schedule, and they could easily go undefeated in their conference. They could easily, because the only two teams, really three teams, they could have problems with: Navy, Houston, in South Florida. Everybody else.
Those are three losses there, because didn't I say on your show a while back that Memphis's days was numbered? Now they got Dana. Now the Houston got Dana Holgorsen.
Yeah, and everybody else are game opponents. Those are game. Other than Navy, that could be an L, because even though
Navy always gonna be an L. Because they had Navy beat last season, and that quarterback that Corey Wolf don't like, the non-mobile one, costing them the game, making piss poor plays, and ass can't run worth a damn.
Yeah, so that's one of those tricky. That's a tricky ass game. That's a tricky game for them with Navy. But if they can get past them, that's a win for them if they can get past them, but I don't know if they will. South Florida is a tricky game too, but they could easily lose that as well.
Yeah, and I don't know if you did hear Uncle Charlie got him a new offensive coordinator, because Sterling Gilbert took his ass to McNeese State, so he's the new coach down there at McNeese, Louisiana. And I looked at that press conference, even though I am behind by talking about this. He's an arrogant fuck.
Who, Charlie?
No, Gilbert. Because the guy asked him, said, "Who's gonna run the offense?" Me. I am. Yeah, because I'm gonna have off. Yeah, he said, because I'm gonna have offense. I got an offense coordinator on staff, but I'm gonna be calling plays. So when the reporter asked him, he said, "So basically, you're gonna be the head coach and offensive coordinator. I'm just gonna be calling plays."
Yeah, and the dude that Charlie Strong got, he has a history of coaching experience, because he coached at the University of Jacksonville, coached at Valdosta State. He's actually got him a championship in Division II at Valdosta State. Kerwin Bell is the He also played in the NFL as well. He played in the NFL as well as the CFL, and he threw for 100 touchdowns in the CFL. So Kerwin Bell, he's got experience. So I think Charlie Strong is going to more of a pro style, maybe a RPO type thing. But Kerwin Bell got some experience under him as a player and a coach. Had a pretty decent CFL career. So yeah, he's a respectable guy in terms of offense. So we could see South Florida competing with Central Florida pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what Kerwin is trying to do. He's got more than enough experience as a player and a coach. So
back up, or wait. You said depend on what Kerwin trying to do.
reverse that. It depends on what Charlie Strong, whether Charlie don't handicap his offensive coordinators. I know that for a fact. But see, I was mad. This what I was mad about. I was mad when he took over the Central Florida, when he took over for South Florida from Taggart. I didn't like the fact Sterling Gilbert punked down Quentin Flowers, man. That because that dude was a badass quarterback. Because what really Slick Willie ran, dude, man, that man's his passing numbers. Because he said he was all about balance with him. Quentin Flowers, the quarterback. Because dude under Willie Taggart, dude, he passed for like 3,400 yards, and then the man ran for like 1,300 under Willie. So total to do the math, that's 4,700 yards combined. Then under Sterling Gilbert, he couldn't do none of that shit.
Yeah,
I'm like, man, yeah, he regressed that man down, dude. I wouldn't have told that man, hey, my offense, you ain't gonna be doing a lot of running. I want you to do more passing, less running. No, Willie, you basically had free reign what you wanted to do. Willie didn't handicap you, so
yeah. And my boy out of Florida, my boy out of Oakland, he was like Willie Taggart. Willie Taggart looking good in terms of offense, because he's up with the Florida team. He said he looks good on the offense this year. But nevertheless, Charlie Strong. It depends on what Charlie gonna do with Kerwin wants to do. And Kerwin is an established coach, head coaching. He got head coaching experience, won a D2 championship, and is a very respectable offensive-minded guy. So Memphis better not sleep on him. I'll tell you that now, because South Florida is looking on the up and up. He's looking on the up and up. I can tell you that now. But Memphis, looking at their schedule, I'm going back to their schedule. Ole Miss, they should have no more than, if they have more than 4 losses, I will put Norvell on the hot seat if they have more. Because Ole Miss, make or break rivalry game, that could be a loss, and they could be a win. If they beat Ole Miss, they should be able to beat Navy.
When you think about it though, before Fuente and Norvell took over, Ole Miss was whooping Memphis' ass. Yeah, and ever since Fuente had took over, Memphis been getting the better Ole Miss as of late, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Memphis been getting the better of Ole Miss as of late. So hey, sorry, Ole Miss fans, turnabout is fair play. So
in the 1970s, they beat Ole Miss 3 consecutive times. Even though Ole Miss dominates the series. You know what I'm saying? They were after 1976. They've been only 2 other times where Memphis had won 2 in a row. 1994 and 2003, 2004. But like I say, some of the scores that Ole Miss have does not indicate how big of a rivalry is. One of the rivalries is recruiting, because sometimes Ole Miss come to Memphis and get top level guys. Same thing with Memphis. Memphis guys get top level guys out of North Mississippi. So, either way, if Memphis could win the first game against Ole Miss, if they can get Ole Miss out of the way and win that first game, that could be big for Memphis. That could give them a lot of momentum, and there's a possible national ranking they can obtain. If they win the first 6 games, first five or 6 games, they're going to have a national ranking throughout the season, because the thing is, the rest of their schedule does not get tough. If they can get Navy out of the way, and I'm speaking potential because I'm speaking hypothetically in potentials, because it is what it is with Memphis. If Memphis can get Ole Miss, Southern, that's going to be a win. South Alabama, they're going to beat the shit out of South Alabama. That may end up in a close game, but they should pull it off. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you the 2 good losses. Here are 2 good losses at their schedule: Navy and Houston.
Yeah, but they don't play.
Here's a bad.
They don't play
South Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad loss. Or when you
Yeah,
to a team like Tulane, like you did last year, yeah, that's a bad loss.
but look at that Memphis schedule. Memphis really does not start playing anybody after they get through with their first half of the schedule. They don't really start playing nobody until November, and those are the last games in November. I mean, 2 of the last 3 games is really they ain't playing no goddamn body. For the most part, you got Ole Miss, and then you got Navy. If they can get past Ole Miss and Navy, they'll be nationally ranked. And they'll probably be ranked all the way to they'll have a number 15th ranking. At highest they'll be ranked number 15 in the country.
Right.
Once you get past Louisiana Monroe, Temple, Tulane, Tulsa, SMU, which they could be tricky as well too, being that they're a Texas squad, they ain't gonna have nobody to play for the most part on their schedule. So when they play in Houston, they could easily be. Let me gather it numerically. They should be 9-0 by the time they get to Houston. That's if they could beat Ole Miss and Navy.
Right.
They're gonna play Tulane and Memphis. That should be a blowout. Tulsa, even though they play them in Tulsa, that should be a win.
Tulsa ain't been good since Tulsa hasn't been good since Gus Malzahn and that Ty Graham guy.
Yeah, so South Florida. But yeah, the two toughest teams on their schedule, other than Ole Miss and Navy, is Houston and South Florida. If they could beat Houston in Houston, which I don't see it, and I used to live down the street from TDECU Stadium or University of Houston Stadium. I used to live down the street from them because I was in Fifth Ward. If they can get past Houston and Houston, which is going to be hard to do, the South Florida game, that could be a tricky game. So you could lose one or the other. Those are 2 trickiest games. But I don't see Memphis going undefeated unless they pull off the unimaginable, because they don't have UCF on the schedule. UCF is off the schedule because there's a rotating schedule with them, because when they played their other side of the conference, I have to say Conference USA, when they played the East Division when they played the East Division of the AAC, it's a rotating schedule.
Yeah.
Between the 6 teams. I'm not including UConn anymore because UConn is eventually going to fuck UConn. It is what it is with them. But it's a rotating schedule. And that's what they're playing, the rotating part of the schedule. So with them playing a rotating schedule on the East Division, they don't have UCF on the schedule. They could beat South Florida and they could lose to South Florida. But my thing is, Norvell needs to get some good recruits in here. Need to convince these guys Memphis is the place to go, even though you're not going to be on the national television game. You're going to be a starter. You can promise a few of those guys some starting positions out there. If you get a 5-star guy onto an AAC school, he's going to start at all 12 AAC schools, hands down. He's going to start. You know what I'm saying? With Navy being a private institution, you got to be accepted. You got to get a business person or a congressman to write for you at Navy. SMU, Tulane, Tulsa, those being a private school, you gotta make the grade. All you need to do is make the grade, and that'll take it for itself. So you'll be able to recruit better than damn near everybody out there. Because, Tulane, Tulsa, SMU got that glitch in the system. Navy got that glitch in the system. You know what I'm saying? So you have 4 private institutions in the AAC. So yeah, you got that glitch in the system. So with the fact that you got that glitch in the system, you can move around with that. You have anything you want to say up to that?
No, I agree. So, on that note, you're gonna say Graham. Norvell, I mean, he's taking a step in the right direction. It's like this. With the recruiting he's doing now, he's pre-tripping his equipment that he needs for the future. But the post trip gonna come how well these recruits gonna produce. That's the way I see it. So, but it is what it is. And also on one note, man, let me give on behalf of the Let's Draw on Something network listeners and the Jimmy J Smooth Network listeners, man, let me give a shout out, let alone let's give our thoughts and prayers to two classmates of mine, schoolmates of mine, Miss Tanisha Moore and Miss sorry Willie and Mr. Willie Moore. Thoughts and prayers with them, man. And they going, Willie's wife had a tough week. Okay, not I'm not gonna go into the whole detail about it, Jimmy. I'll just tell you off the air. But Willie had almost lost his Willie's wife she was like going on 5 months pregnant at the time, and she had to be rushed to the hospital because they had to perform an emergency surgery on her. But to make a long story short, during that process, baby girl passed away.
Unfortunately for that.
Right. Her name was gonna be Zoe. Little Zoe left us too soon before she could have a chance to get acquainted with the world. And also Willie's wife, I call her Nene. Nene almost lost her life in the process of that whole ordeal. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna, but I'm gonna respect their privacy on that regard there. But everybody, hey, send your thoughts and prayers out to the Moore family. Willie, Tanisha, aka Nene and Willie Moore, because they really need, despite the aftermath, because Willie could have lost his wife. Not only did Willie lose his child, he almost lost his wife.
Yeah.
So and that's something I don't, even if I'm not saying that they're my enemies, they're cool people with me. Even if I had a person that did not like me to the fullest or hated me, I wouldn't have been, I even send my condolences out on something like that if it was to happen to one of my worst enemies. But damn, I mean, they good people. And if anybody in the Memphis area know Willie Moore, yeah, that name is familiar. Willie Moore's Restaurant. He has it downtown. He owns it. Yeah, I mean, but right now they hey, going a tough time right now, man. And so give shouts out to them. Respect their privacy and stuff like that. And they're trying to maintain a low playing field right now after everything wouldn't happen. So again, like I said, y'all, thoughts and prayers out to them.
Most definitely.
Like that on that, Jimmy.
Man, my condolences to them both, man, and hope their restaurant is doing well. If and wherever I come back, I always look for some restaurants to eat at, man, and that's one of the spots I'm definitely gonna eat at, man. Just keep me posted on that as well, man. I need to get a little stomach going. How's people do, man. So my thoughts and prayers to everybody, man, and hope they get over this, man. Hope they get well over this, man. So it's gonna be hard, man, losing a child, and that's one of the things I would never wish is people lose a child, because that's very tough. Very tough. Yeah. You don't have any
I don't know about losing a child, but I've seen the after effects from folks that still deal with that shit,
Mm-hmm.
man. Yeah, but for Nene to almost lose her life in the process too. Damn.
Yeah, That is sad right there. Yeah. You don't have anything else before we get off this show, man? Because this is relatively short.
But I'm gonna say this. Hopefully, Let's Draw on Something will be back on the ball soon. Like I said, I got me a new laptop and everything and stuff like that. I did spoil it as to what one of the topics is going to be is where the hell I've been, as I detail what went on with me during my last few months in Huntsville, Alabama, and you know, and hey, and I made a shocking phone call to somebody, and I then resolved something that was eating away at me for a while. And no, it wasn't to the ex-wife. Hell no, it was with her son. So I'll tell you more about that. Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you more about that off air too. But yeah, Let's Draw on Something is gonna be coming back and be detailing where the hell have I been, because I have some topics lined up, and also probably one episode depending on what my off day is. Hopefully my off days will remain Saturday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Jimmy J and we gonna be previewing college football, our early college football predictions, because we're a month away, people.
Yeah, and also YouTube is making changes to the Google Hangouts. So once we figure that out, we'll continue the show as scheduled. If not, I'm gonna holler at YouTube pretty soon. I'm gonna give them a call and figure out what they're gonna do with the actual with the actual live streams and stuff like that. Because if
they're eliminating that.
They're eliminating Google Hangouts on the 1st. So I'm gonna call them at the Google All-Stars.
Wow.
Yeah, they're eliminating Google Hangouts, but I think we still can live stream. But I'm gonna actually, matter of fact, soon as I get off the Hangouts with you, I'm gonna call them and see how they operate it. Or if I can't get them over the phone, I'm gonna email them how they're gonna do everything with the live stream, because I need to know that so you can continue the podcast as well. You know what I'm saying? That's very important. In which most people they have their biggest subscribers on podcasts. You know, so that needs to be known to the and the thing with YouTube, they need to stop with the fuckery. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because from their customer service to everything for the most part, because there's a few people that got 2,000 subs got monetized. So they need to they need to keep it simple with those type of things, man, because it really hurts. It hurts their brand, man, for them to be on that, man. So they need to get it together. I'm gonna tell y'all now, YouTube, y'all need to get it together, because this is really crazy. But other than that, man, you ain't got nothing.
Not a thing.
Okay. Once again, this your boy, live and direct in full effect out the 832 with my boy out the 662. And y'all already know how both of us do. Peace out, and y'all enjoy y'all day.